how you run your personal finances. Now, you can look on many websites and pick up many guides, and they'll tell you how to do it. And it'll be very basic. Oh, you take your income, take your outgoings, and make sure that they match up. But we're looking at this in a different way. We're saying, if you were a business, you would plan your money very well. You would have a forecast, and your forecast would say, this is the money I've got coming in, these are my outgoings, and whatever it is at the bottom is what in business they call headroom. And headroom should be a positive number. So if I make £10 and I have £5 of outgoings, then naturally I've got £5 of headroom. And that's how you run a business. And you try not run a business in a way where your headroom is either negative or equal, as in your outgoings are equal to your income. So I have to ask you this. If a business runs like that, and that's how it keeps financially stable, why do we as individuals not run our lives like that? Why don't we do a budget or a forecast? Why don't we make sure that we've got headroom at the bottom? And the reason why we don't, is, in my opinion, is two reasons. First of all, we've not been educated in that way. We've not been told that when you conduct your life and your lifestyle, this is what you should do. No one's ever told you that. And secondly, we're lazy. We're all very good at telling other people what to do, but not ourselves. And it's a fact that we all run our finances, generally speaking, off the cuff. Yeah, I'll have a loan for a car. Great, yeah, bang, got the car, job done. Oh no, now I can't afford the debt. What do I do? That is what happens 9 times out of 10. So what we're trying to educate people is this. Think a little bit more like a business. Have a bit of paper which says, this is what my income is, these are my outgoings. Have I got a positive number at the bottom? And if you haven't got a positive number at the bottom, you now need to work out how you're going to get one. Because a negative headroom, as I called it, eventually equals bankruptcy. And more people are going bankrupt because whereas your debt is £10, it then goes to 20, 30, 100, 200. It gets to a stage where not even a loan is going to get you out of this. And if you do get a loan, you've just doubled your debt anyway with interest. And what we're trying to say to people is stop. Stop and think about where you are. Don't get to that point in the first place. Just by doing a simple exercise of running your personal finances like a business will help you with that massively. Now, if anybody of you are at a stage where you wish you had done that, but you didn't, and you're now at that stage where, in fact, your outgoings are greater than your income, and you are finding that your headroom figure that I mentioned is getting bigger every month, that means you're in debt. And that means you're on your way, potentially, to bankruptcy. Now, if you watch the television adverts for debt management, or go online and Google it, you'll find as many people that want to take your money. And they'll say, come to us, we'll manage you out of debt, which means you'll pay them anything from £500 to £1,000 as a fee, and they'll contact all your creditors, all the people you owe money to, and they'll say to them, my client owes you £500, will you accept £300? And they'll come back to you and say, great, I've just reduced all your debt. In my opinion, this is not the answer. This is not what you should be doing. Because all you're doing is you're lining the pockets of those companies that provide that service. So they've done well. You've helped them with their headroom, not yours. You've gone out and annoyed a lot of people that you owed money to, because now they're going to get less money from you. And here's the important thing. You've ruined or damaged your credit rating. And credit ratings are very important because that's how you get lending going forward. And you only have one credit rating. It goes up and down as time goes on. But if you ruin it by going to one of these companies, it takes a long time to get that back. And when you remember I said, don't plan for today, plan for tomorrow. If you go to one of those companies, you're planning for today. What happens tomorrow if you need to take a loan out? Well, I'll tell you what happens. They'll say no. And in the current climate, it's hard enough as it is to get a loan, let alone if you've got a bad credit rating. So that's all very well. I've told you not to go to these companies that say they can help. So what do? Here's what I think you do. And this is all on our website as a tool for you to use. Come back to my scenario about headroom, about income and outgoings. If you find that your income is £10 and your outgoings is £5, then is £15, sorry, you're £5 short. So what you now have to do is you have to work out how you can reduce that deficit that you've got. We hear the government talking about deficits, we're the same. So we have devised a formula, which I won't go into too much detail about because it is on the site, and it's much easier to explain it with examples, which we have on the website, which says this. When you're doing your budgets, so when you're getting your bit of paper, which says income and outgoings, make sure that that headroom at the bottom is at least 5% of your income. Now, I know what you're going to be thinking, well, I can't do that because all my income goes already. You can. Because in the same way that those companies go to people and say, look, my client can't afford £500 a month, can they pay you £300? Why can't you do that? What makes you any different to those companies? I'll tell you what makes you different, because you are you. You are going to them personally, firsthand, and saying, I've got this loan, I can't afford it at the moment. But what you're not doing, you're not saying, whereas I did have to pay you £500 back, I'm now only going to give you £300. That's not what I'm advising you to do. What I'm saying is, you're looking at the monthly payments. Whereas I pay you £50 a month, I can't afford it at the moment, but I'm going to be able to afford it in the future. I'm trying to get my financial life back on track. Can I pay you £20 a month for the next 6 months? Now, if you go through all of your outgoings, working out the softest ones first, and what I mean by those, the ones where you think it's going to be easier to get them to agree to this, you will find that you can very easily claw back enough of your outgoings so that you've got your 5%. And what I say you do with your 5% is you use that to pay off your debt that you can't afford at the moment. That's your buffer. So if you can create this 5%, you can use it to make monthly payments from that. And if you follow that, it's a tried and tested formula. We've been testing it with lots of scenarios. It works. It definitely works. And let me tell you this, nobody at the moment is going to refuse an offer to pay. If you go to someone and say, I owe you £500, I think I'm going to go bankrupt, so you're going to get nothing. Or alternatively, if all of my creditors agree to take a lesser payment per month, they'll get the same at the end, then I won't go bankrupt. I guarantee it, 9.5 times out of 10, they will agree it. If you don't ask, you don't get.